Tonight, I have a message for Dominica and especially beekeepers. Dominica has successfully been able to resist the commercial exploitation of its forests and other natural resources. And today, if the words of the experts can be believed, Dominica still retains about 70% of its natural vegetation. Water is one of the island's most abundant natural resources, and it, without question, has some of the finest oceanic rainforest in the entire region. This sounds great, and it is. But unfortunately, small islands with small economies and a population wanting to see growth and improvement, which usually comes at a price of what is often miscalled development. I once heard a politician say, we need to dig down some of these damn mountains and cut down some of these forests and bring some development to the island. Fortunately, that human is no longer a politician. As a concept or as a political obligation to deliver on promises made, one cannot wholly fault government for wanting to improve the standards of living and social services of the people over which it rules. But history is replete with examples of decisions made by governments which have been environmentally disastrous, as we are currently seeing the government of Jamaica endorsing bauxite mining in the Cockpit Country, an area which contains over 40% of the island's water. I believe that Dominica can be an example and a model to the world of what a truly eco-friendly country should be like. But we must prepare the way in a bipartisan manner. I often hear people say how much we must protect Dominica and keep it clean so that visitors will have a favorable impression of us. But we're the ones who live here. We must first want Dominica to be the best that it can be for ourselves. Others will appreciate us more if we're doing it for ourselves and not just for them. But there's a bigger picture here, which we often cannot see or understand. It is how much our collective action as a people can either protect or destroy us. Our leaders must be sagacious enough to differentiate between development and what is not environmentally friendly or safely sustainable. We have an obligation that the legacy we bequeath to our posterity will be favorable not only to their survival, but to the quality of their lives. At the rate of which rainforests are disappearing globally due to greed and what I call koyaanisqatsi, we need to bring to the awareness of the nation the dynamics of a tropical rainforest, its relevance to the water cycle, the air that we breathe, and the quality of our future. Let us also be forever mindful of our indefatigable, hard-working pollinators, which are always fearlessly fighting to preserve a healthy ecosystem. They deserve our support and protection. I am talking about bees. So join the Be Right movement to promote environmental consciousness of the role of bees and other insects in their efforts to have a sustainable natural environment. This is a quote. Insects are responsible for the pollination of about 80% of trees and bushes on the entire planet. The value of the global contribution made by insects to the natural environment is said to be over $33 trillion annually. And that is trillion with a T. Many of our leaders are either not aware or choose to ignore how perilously close we are to a global environmental catastrophe. One of the greatest challenges the world is facing today is about the quality of available surface water. Waterborne diseases are now one of the highest causes of global hospitalization and death. It is estimated that as much as 40% of the world's available surface water may be contaminated beyond safe human or animal consumption. More than ever, we need to be right and rise out of the quagmire of divisiveness and destructive partisan politics, which create animosity among us and our brothers and sisters. Let us be Dominicans first. Be Dominicans first. Let not our focus be dominated and controlled by what politicians do or not do. We need to be, as a people, united, not divided by politics. Let us embrace our Kalinagra brothers and sisters as we would have them embrace us. Let us throw classism and political divisiveness into the gutter where they belong. We are all in this together. We have a lot of work to do to protect our environment. We, meaning everyone. Whatever political party we support or not support, the common human thread which runs through us as a people is the same. We all have the same needs. We all suffer the same consequences of what being a human entails. If you find yourself incessantly vociferating and hurling vituperation upon the heads of this or that politician, castigating this or that political party, you are maybe inadvertently locked within a vortex of putrid political obsession, which will only spawn hatred and a desire for revenge. Yes, you may tell me about the freedom of speech. I agree that everyone is free to speak. But when what we say create disunity, anger, and animosity, I believe that silence is the better option. My advice to those who choose to spend their time in obsession, berating, and castigating politicians: to plant a tree and enjoy watching it grow. Become a beekeeper. Care for someone in need. Spend time in the forest. Talk to trees. Sit by a river and listen to its songs. Climb a mountain and gaze upon the valleys and plains. Enjoy the wind caressing your face, knowing that it is real, though you see it not. Our environmental issues and challenges are far greater than our political issues. Politicians come and go and become a narrative relative to the role they played during their time of leadership. There is never unanimity in the way people remember them. And since I have lived in Dominica, there has been 5 political leaders. Each one will be remembered very differently by those who supported or opposed them. The main reason why I'm against the creation of a narrative inspiring revenge and anger and animosity is because they only breed more of their kind. To the radio stations and social media groups, I charge you to change your narrative. Desist from entertaining the negative political rhetoric which divides people and promote disunity and social division in the society. Whether you believe or not believe in a God, whether you are laborites, freedomites, workers, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, Baha'is, Jewish, Hindus, Buddhist, or whatever religion you choose to embrace or reject, acknowledge that you are all part of the human family. Be thankful for how blessed you are to live in a country where we get over 300 inches of rain annually. Be ever so grateful that you can still drink the water from the rivers. Our rainforests effectively protect us from some of the hazards of carbon monoxide and create enough pure oxygen for our nation to breathe freely. Step away from the divisive mentality of partisan politics and enjoy the freedom of not fearing for your lives because there may be an unpredictable bomb falling from a flying machine to destroy your homes, killing you and your families and friends. Back to the environment. Many of the environmental privileges and freedoms that we now enjoy could rapidly disappear if the lust for pecuniary enrichment becomes so insatiable that in order to achieve its satisfaction, we abandon conservation and safe environmental practices. One luminary said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And even though we're a little island in the Caribbean, we are part of the world community, and we need the support of the whole world to help us to protect biodiversity of one of the world's most pristine oceanic rainforests. Let us pledge to protect Dominica's rainforest and its natural environment to ensure that we will have clean water to drink, clean air to breathe when Koyaanisqatsi completes its destruction of the rest of the world's rainforest, which produces 40% of the oxygen we need. I am sharing this from my research. Deforestation has resulted in the loss of more than 85 million hectares of land in the Amazon rainforest. This is nearly the size of the country of Colombia. The Amazon rainforest is arguably the world's largest and most significant rainforest. It spans 9 countries across South America. It's almost the size of the continental United States. And it is double the size of India. Despite its enormous size, the rainforest is significantly smaller than it used to be. The Amazon rainforest was more than 647 million hectares before people began wholesale deforestation of it. Since then, it is estimated that 13% of the land has been lost as a result, bringing the total size of the rainforest to about 560 million hectares in 2024. End of quote. We know from experience that world leaders have an insatiable propensity to place the development and the growth of the economy above the protection and preservation of the natural environment. But what good is a booming economy if the environment becomes hazardous to the health of the world's people? One world leader, in his mole-sighted view of the world and its perilous impending environmental catastrophe, said, "I will not sacrifice the economy for the environment." The world is but one country, and mankind are its citizens, said Baha'u'llah. I believe at this stage of our evolution and development, we should understand the significance of those words. We do not live in isolation. We are intrinsically part of a world community, and we all suffer the consequences of environmental degradation wherever it happens. Footnote: Koyaanisqatsi is a Hopi Indian word which I like to use. It means life out of balance. Please note, I, Kenneth George-Dill, the author of this post, have no political connection or ambition. I'm not inspired or motivated to write by any political causes, and I disassociate myself from any partisan political opinions expressed by anyone with whom I associate. Since the early years of my life growing up in Jamaica, I have avoided the divisiveness of partisan politics, which I believe to be one of the most destructive banes to have ever been unleashed upon humanity.